What's good, YouTube? DM here with the DM Network. Y'all, today I want to talk about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, of course, but one major thing that I hope they don't do with this game. But before we get into all of that, y'all, follow me on the social media platforms. PlayStation ID is Dmgaming5, Twitter at Dmgaming5, Twitch at Dmgaming06, and Instagram at _DM_network. You can also follow me on Facebook at Dmgaming06. Also, y'all know the routine. Over 9,000 Hype Squad. Join us by clicking that subscribe button. Nobody else is doing what we're doing. You're not going to find discussions about this game on YouTube. Trust me. I've checked. So click the subscribe button. Click the bell icon so you don't miss an upload. We upload 7 days a week. Become a part of over 9,000 Hype Squad. So on with the video. So what I don't want. The one thing, I was sitting here today thinking about today's video. I had plans for it. But something came up as I was scrolling through Twitter. I ran across Xenoverse 2 and their Ultimate Pack 1 that's coming out July 11th for Xenoverse 2. Now, Xenoverse 2 has been out since, 2016? It's been out for 3 years now. Going on 3 years, yeah. And when the game first came out, you had Xenoverse 1. Okay, Xenoverse 1 was good. They did a couple DLC packs for it, but Xenoverse 2 came out, about 2 years after that, maybe? And it was an improvement. It was a slight improvement. You had Toki Toki City going to Content City, and it was more open. You had the story was the same. The story was a copy and paste, There was a few things that was improved, not much, but that wasn't the problem, in my opinion, with Xenoverse 2. My problem with Xenoverse 2 is their DLC pattern. I wonder who is at the table saying, let's do this and let's do that. Because it seems as if whatever they release, like the characters they have, Vegeta, Super Saiyan Evolution, Super Saiyan Red Hair, the god form of Vegeta, and Ribrianne. Like, you don't even have Toppo in the game. Toppo was more of a character than Ribrianne. He's a more popular character than Ribrianne. Super Saiyan God Vegeta should have been in the game. He was in the manga, for crying out loud. Why wait till Dragon Ball Super Broly to put him in the game? He was in the manga against in the Goku Black arc. Wasn't in the anime though, but was definitely in the manga. And then Blue Evolution, I get that. But my issue with it is people want a new game. And that's great. People will eventually get a Xenoverse 3. But it's almost like they're just giving out tidbits and charging you full price for them. You see what I'm saying? I hope that they do not do that same kind of thing with this game. And I don't see it happening with this game because this game isn't set up the way that Xenoverse is. Xenoverse is kind of set up the same way that Jump Force is, Dragon Ball Fighters is, where they, instead of just giving you this all in one game, they have plans for this and then they break it up over time. Now, I get it with the Dragon Ball Super stuff. The reason why they do that with the super characters is because as Xenoverse 2 was out, Super was already out, of course, but they start rolling out more newer episodes. So characters like Jiren, they wouldn't put Jiren in the game when he's not even in the anime or the manga at the time. You get what I'm saying? So I understand that. But why release just 2 characters? You're gonna say 3 characters because Vegeta is Super Saiyan Blue and Evolution. But here's the problem with Xenoverse. First of all, Xenoverse's first problem was creating these separate characters instead of just giving one character all of these transformations. So you have 3-4 different forms of Vegeta, and you have yet to have a form where Vegeta or even Goku is in their base form and can transform from regular Super Saiyan all the way up to Super Saiyan Blue. It's possible because the Super Saiyan transformation is on one button. They don't do that. No, they give you a separate character already in that form. And it's crazy, man. It's like they're milking their player base for money at this point. And I hope that this game does not do that. Do not do that because it is so simple for Xenoverse. They can do one DLC pack and just call it the Super Pack. And they can release Ribrianne, Dispo, Topo, Vegeta, Blue Evolution. They can release all those characters in one swoop, but they're not going to do it. They're going to save some for the next pack and the next pack. And what they're doing is stretching the game so that people are still playing the game, and they're still making money off the game until Xenoverse 3 comes out. I don't want them to do that with this game, man. I really don't. And I don't know if it's up to the publisher about this stuff or it's up to the developers. I assume it's up to the publishers because you see a similar thing with Bungie and Activision. Once they split from Activision, you see a lot of the stuff change. You know, these are companies, you know, I'm wondering, are the heads of these companies even gamers? And I understand they looking at things from a business standpoint, but it doesn't look good to me from a consumer standpoint that you're milking a game this way. And like I said, because Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has a chance to be an all-time great Dragon Ball game. It really does. And I mean, I can't even imagine what the DLC would be. We would have a more clear picture of what DLC will be once we know everything about the game, you know. Confirmation on the sagas, the playable characters thing. Those are the two biggest things looming over this game at this point that we don't have official confirmation for. That once we do, then we can get a better glance or a gauge at what would potentially be DLC. Now, a way that this game could end up being like Xenoverse was that it, like we said earlier, if they did a playable character DLC where, oh, here comes DLC rolling out, you get to play through the entire story from Vegeta's standpoint or from Gohan's standpoint. If they did that, then, you know, and release so many characters ever so often, you know, there's going to be people happy about that. But at the same time, there's going to be people that are upset about it. And I guess that's one thing that you deal with in the industry is you can't please everybody. And that's understandable. You know, that's just life. You're not going to please everybody. But please, for the love of God, do not stretch and milk this game that way. If you create a good game, and you put enough content in that game, the games will last. But when you begin to milk the player base like they're doing with Xenoverse, it becomes evident. You know, Xenoverse 2 they're not improving the NAT code. They're not improving the game. They're just adding more characters. And now they've added all these super souls in it. So essentially, you can tell that Xenoverse 2 is getting close to the end because they're starting to add OP things into the game, which I don't care. It's Dragon Ball Z. There's things, it's Dragon Ball. Things are overpowered, you know, but and this is why I have a big issue with the multiplayer thing and why I'm happy that this game is single player, because in a multiplayer game, you have balancing issues. Soon as they release something that's OP, oh, this is OP, it needs to be nerfed. Why? Because people get it and they get their butts kicked with it and they don't know how to handle that. And so they cry, this is OP, it needs to be nerfed. They did the same thing in Destiny. You know how many weapons have been nerfed in Destiny because people complain? And guess where the complaints come from? It doesn't come from the PvE community. It comes from the PvP community. And what do? They nerf it in both sides. Now Bungie splits from Activision. Now their more mindset is to make it better for the players, so they'll do nerfs for PvE and not for PvP, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And I like that. I can get along with that. But you know, with this game being a single player game, we don't have to worry about balancing issues. I doubt anybody is going to complain Super Saiyan is too overpowered. It's supposed to be OP. It's Super Saiyan. In Dragon Ball Z, the Super Saiyan transformation was OP. It wasn't against the androids. They mopped the floor with Vegeta. But eventually, you know, it was. With Gohan going Super Saiyan, it was a new level that they could go to, and it was OP. Goku could have defeated Majin Buu in Super Saiyan 3. He said it in the anime. You know, stuff like that. It's just, I want to see this game succeed. I want this game to last. Now, if they do a DLC with playable characters, you know, would I get that? Would I take part in that? Or do we feel like something like that? I think that people would get it. But what people would be upset about is if the game say goes all the way up to Boo and you say against the fight against Cell, you don't even get to fight as Gohan against Cell. That's what will make people upset, you know. And I understand that and I get that. And the way that I see that this game could be the most successful is if you do it just, even though Goku is the main character, even though Goku is the one you play with the most, let it be in those other instances where Goku wasn't around that you do get to play those missions as the other characters, because it's not going to take away from Goku being the main character, especially if at any other time you're playing with those other characters, you're playing with Goku. You see what I'm saying? And then if you add in the other world, if you add in Planet Yardrat, then it bears focus even more on Goku as opposed to the other characters. So in the times where the other characters are supposed to fight, let us play as other characters. But then what's going to happen is people are going to want to explore with Gohan. They're going to want to explore with Vegeta. And I would too, don't get me wrong. But the thing about that is that's when they would say, okay, we'll do that as DLC. I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Like I said, I just don't want them to milk the DLC for this game like they're doing with Xenoverse and with Dragon Ball Fighters. Because even with Fighters, let's be real, these characters, why haven't they released Broly and Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta? That movie's been out almost a year now. Well, it came out earlier this year. And I get a game like that, I get it, because there's not only balancing, but it's also things like the characters' fighting styles, because all of them fight different. And that's the beauty of this game being a single player, is because we'll be able to get stuff a lot faster because they don't have to concern themselves with balancing with it being a single player. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.